Another GM production shutdown, but this one is a little different. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Mello with Marty's Buick GMC and Chevrolet, and today we're discussing the GM factory shutdown, why it's happening, and what I think you should know right now if you're shopping. So let's get into it. All right, so if you haven't yet heard the news already, GM previously announced that it would halt production at its Fort Wayne assembly truck plant in Indiana for 2 weeks, starting on March 27th, as inventory levels have been slowly increasing, and GM wants to, according to the plant's assistant director, maintain optimal inventory levels. Now, the Fort Wayne plant is responsible for building full-size trucks like the Silverado and Sierra, which are obviously GM's bread and butter. But just keep in mind, this doesn't mean that no full-size trucks will be built during that time, because GM will still have 3 other full-size truck plants in operation, specifically the Flint plant, Mexico, and Canada, so those will be unaffected by the shutdown. Now, I've had a bunch of people send me links to articles and ask me what my thoughts are on the shutdown, why I think it's happening, and how pricing is going to be affected on new trucks. And there's sort of a lot to unpack, and it's a topic I think I could discuss for hours, especially with everything going on in the markets. But since I don't think anyone wants to listen to me for that long, here's my short version. As for the overall reason why, in my opinion, manufacturers don't want to go back to the old way of doing business. And by that, I mean just flooding dealership lots with inventory, 200 trucks on the ground. Mary Barr said back in early 2022, in fact, that GM had no plans to return to pre-pandemic inventory levels as the company wanted to run leaner and more efficiently. She said specifically, actually, in an interview that, quote, "we'll never go back to the inventory levels that we were in the past, because in all the tragedy that surrounded 2020, we have learned a lot on how to strengthen our business, run leaner, work with the dealers, use data analytics to make sure dealers are ordering the right vehicle. There are so many elements where we've learned to run more efficiently that we'll never go back from," end quote. Now, of course, limiting new inventory, especially trucks, is going to allow for more pricing control. I'm not going to pretend like that's not a major reason, at least in my opinion, for the 2-week production halt, especially with things like rising interest rates and demand not necessarily dropping, but plateauing. At least that's what I'm seeing in my region. But beyond that, there's a definite trend that I've been seeing over the past few years now, and I'm sure some of you have seen it as well. And that trend seems to be that U.S. dealers are starting to operate a lot more like European dealers, in that it's becoming much, much more common for people to go ahead, arrive at the dealership, and then not buy off the lot. But instead, they actually end up ordering the vehicle that they want and then kind of wait for it to arrive. And that way of doing business is far more streamlined than having dealers or manufacturers try to guess at what's going to sell the best or guess what the current truck market wants. But at the same time, of course, not everybody wants to wait, especially here in the U.S. where, most people can't wait more than 2 days for shipping, or now even 1-day shipping. Thank you, Amazon. But that problem with not wanting to wait, that's how dealers got away with the price markups. You didn't want to wait, you had to pay the markup. Which is why, if you've been watching my channel for any time now, and anytime this topic has come up, you've known that I've said over and over, if you're looking to buy, you should just really consider ordering, and then make sure that the discussion about no over MSRP or markups or addendums or any of that crazy nonsense that other dealers were doing, make sure you had that in writing with your dealer. Now, as far as what I think is going to happen with truck pricing right now, one thing that I can tell you is that from talking to people across the entire country, thanks to this channel, is that there is just no one size fits all. Some areas seem to have insanely low supply still, while others seem to have a healthy stock of inventory on the ground. So buying outside of your normal local market in order to get a better deal might be something to consider if you want something now and you don't want to wait weeks for a custom order. I do know that a ton of 2.7-liter trucks have entered the market, and many dealers are marking those down. So if you're someone open to that engine, that I know, oh no, 4-cylinder turbo, honestly, if you've never test driven one, I think you'd probably be a little surprised. They surprised me. There are great deals to be had on those trucks right now, and you should definitely have some room to negotiate no matter where you are in the country. SLEs, SLTs, LS, LT trucks could also see some pricing flexibility. Once again, this really, really depends on the inventory availability in your local market and, of course, the engine under the hood. If your dealer has a few of those on the ground, though, definitely take a shot at negotiating a discount. Things like Denali's, Denali Ultimates, AT4s, AT4Xs, ZR2s, High Countries, any of the high-end premium trims, believe it or not, the demand is still crazy. So I wouldn't expect to see much discounting beyond any available rebates off MSRP on those, because there's just not a large enough supply of them in the market. And it seems many of those buyers just don't want to wait for a custom order, so they're willing to pay to get it now. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be a little bit of variance depending on where you are in the country. but that's pretty much what I'm seeing. I honestly believe in the next few years we'll be at a mostly order-based system. Now, I could be wrong, but I can tell you that I've had meetings with companies recently to integrate online ordering directly into our own dealership website so that customers can just order what they want. So everything seems to be pointing that direction. And outside of the wait time, honestly, I think it will be a better experience overall with far more price transparency. We'll just, of course, have to wait and see. But I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on this, what you guys are seeing in your local market, and how you feel about more of an order-based system going forward, if, of course, it means better price transparency. Now, if you happen to be in the New England area, shameless plug, feel free to check out the inventory available at martysbuickgmc.com or Marty's Chevrolet. The links are in the description below. I love seeing subscribers take delivery of new trucks here. We've shipped them all over the country. We're more than happy to ship them if you need them. We're more than happy to take your orders, discount them if we can, never over MSRP. We never marked anything up. As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you got some value out of this video, if you could do me a solid, just smash that like button, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Check out martysparts.com for all your GM OEM parts needs, and I will catch you all in the very next video. Have a great weekend. Thanks again, and take care.